We will be sharing our knowledge and resources with the outside world. We will work to be an example of how we as brothers and sisters on this earth should treat each other. Now more than ever, the illusions of division threaten our very existence. We all know the truth. More connects us than separates us. But in times of crisis, the wise build bridges, while the foolish build barriers. We must find a way to look after one another as if we were one single tribe.
Hey everyone, it's Billy Root from 58 Magazine, and thank you for watching The Art of Consciousness. These films are a curation of scientific insights with the study of the unseen, which is spiritual knowledge, in order to integrate with the mastery of will to create a unified individual. By understanding the eternal masculine, which is consciousness, and the eternal feminine, which is energy, we can create a perfect union of a world of warriors who are governed by love that transcends time, dimensions, and space. Consciousness and energy is a dream with power and intent. These next films will be about the knowledge and power to conquer and control all personal judgments, disbeliefs, doubts in oneself, and the attitudes and habits of the human personality that limits us from growing and evolving to our greatest unlimited potential. To release the chemical addictions and to let go of the dramatic characters we've been playing. To be less of a selfish creature who only thinks about how they feel rather than the whole. And to heal ourselves of disease, because the pain that we experience in the body is the pain that we carry in our soul. The wounds our soul carries resonate in the body, which damages it and bruises it. To be truly awake and conscious is when you start processing your own thoughts, which creates a brain that has life and fires up the instrument, who is then awake and aware. You become present. This inner work is about freeing spirit from the personality's prison. When the spirit is free, it is emotionless and can heal the soul instantly with will and spiritual power. You interact with your real, your reality, your movie by thought. This ability to think creates mind. But let's first talk about the brain. The greatest organ we possess is our brain, and we use less than 1/10 of it. The second is the reptilian brain, the conscious mind, the body. And the third is the heart. The brain is a vehicle for streams of consciousness and energy, which is the power source. The brain is a radio and bandwidth receiver and has the capacity of picking up every single one of the 7 energy fields, all the way back to 0 point. Our brain hears all, but our ears don't. There are states and realms of consciousness that coexist within those energy fields. Humans vibrate at the Hertzian level, which functions with the body chemically. The body is in sync with the Earth's own magnetic field and vibrates electrically at the same rate. That is why it can also communicate with nature. The brain is an etheric instrument which works off the light principle and then executes it electrically and chemically because it is made of light. The wavelength frequency of the physical body is 8 Hz and is capable of going all the way up to the spectrum and process information that is so out of range of specific human understanding. Science will never be able to prove spirit. It is meant to be this way. So we must work to transcend the physical to become spiritual, which is the unseen. Words are the 3rd generation in the stream of consciousness and energy, picked up and frozen by the neurosynaptic connections of the brain that fire and translate them into holographic pictures we call thoughts. Meaning your crew, your thoughts, are hand-picked and selected to support the vision in your mind. The brain takes impulses and chops up the stream of consciousness into coherent thought forms and creates memorized biochemical thoughts which create reality. In other words, your crew and your thoughts are locked in based on their talent to help create a new scene, a memory. Your brain doesn't talk in words, it talks in pictures. These flashes of pictures are holograms, and every time they flash, it is called thinking, and occupies the space right in between your eyes and your forehead, which is called the frontal lobe. the screen of your imagination. The brain does not create consciousness, it creates thought. One thought equals mind. The brain is the architect, and your consciousness is the divine director. Whatever sits here in thought is created out there in reality. What happens within you will happen outside of you. So if we can learn to think greater and become greater, in turn our life will become greater because we are creating energy that affects this invisible field around us. When wanting to be whatever it is that you desire to be, align your thoughts, your crew with it. So how do we get our brains to receive from low to high? By filling it with knowledge and realizing our limitations, our laziness, unwillingness to learn, and failure to concentrate. The more knowledge we have in our brain, the more we can use them to piece together in mind and copy and paste them together for contemplation. When we realize these aspects and master them with balance and unconditional love, we then become greater and greater. Our spirit comes into the supercomputer, which is the brain, and we express ourselves through the central nervous system and bring life and color to the quantum field through our spirit. And your spirit is the life force that you use up in your lifetime. It is the observer to our thoughts, our pictures that we entertain in the brain. It is the largest when we are a child. It grows smaller and smaller the more we form limited aspects and opinions of ourselves and the world. We use the energy of our spirit to create within forms of constructed, limited thought which causes death. When you conquer your altered self, your personality, your body, your chemical addictions and ignorance, you don't really grow old. Some masters live to be thousands of years old. Their mind is that powerful. Imagine that. And the more you attempt to have a positive mental attitude, it really means that you really have a negative mental attitude and are desperately trying to change it, which is a mask, because you are in a battle within your mind, which is a binary mind and not a mind at one with itself. It's like you have two crews trying to create your film who are constantly at battle instead of a focused, unconditional mind at peace with their crew because they consciously know what is necessary to create their film. There is a science and knowledge to transform yourself into spirit. But first you have to ask yourself, do you see yourself as a mind or a personality? Every movie we watch is about mind. Each character are all aspects of emotions and thoughts inside of the mind. The mind is the platform that the spirit in our brain creates in our environment. What is observed in here happens out there. Mind is the product of consciousness and energy in the brain which creates thought forms, pictures, and memory. The only thing that keeps us from knowing everything is our mind. So that is why we must be aware of what is in our mind, which is in the present. The mind is the platform in which reality grows, and your mind is only as great as your truth, your belief in self. The movie you experience, your reality, is a product of your thoughts and your pictures. This virtual mind is for us to understand and have our spirit look at as a spiritual mind of your directed life. We create a frequency-specific harmony that creates our reality that is in relationship to our mind. So if the mind is the platform in which reality grows, what are you planting? The mind is everything, and geniuses are ones who expand the borders of the mind. We have to develop and recreate our spiritual self so we can operate the body as a fine-tuned instrument rather than it dying of decay. We are genetically challenged with the genes of the inability to believe in oneself and become greater than our parents, our genetics. If you are unhappy about your life, it is due to your inability to dream a new role, a new real. You are a victim of your own creation. But when the mind changes its mind, the energy falls apart and reassembles a new reality, a new movie to experience. From the clay of consciousness, your imagination, we create a living thing that is alive and real because it is made from us. The moment our spirit observes it, it morphs the frequency earth, which is the human mind, into reality. We are the carpenters of our reality. We are the genesis of every moment. God creates from the mind. Your reality is your real, and thinking causes the environment to be static or dynamic. We have to start to think outside of our addiction, which is our emotions, our body. Everyone is looking and thinking at the environment and changing and forming it as they are observers to their own movie. By focusing our mind, we can change reality with the understanding of our consciousness, our divine director. So what does it take to create a mind that is so powerful that it can conform the energy field of any life form and any situation and change it immediately? It takes constant focus on what is expected rather than what is seen. Are you ready to let go of everything that has held you back? Are you ready to master your own life? In order to become unlimited, this limited version of you must die. You must transform with the will and intent of your spirit. Consciousness impressed upon the brain is what produces mind. Consciousness and mind are one. The moment you know your focused thought creates reality and affects your life is when you truly wake up. The moment you discipline your thinking and the images you entertain your spirit is when you become free. We wake up because we are uplifted from our ignorance because we know it can destroy us. Then your spirit will become awakened because it's not dulled and beaten by painful and harmful imagery, and then it will liberate you. Your reality, your movie, is only equal to the images you believe and create in your mind that you are worthy to experience. You are one with your divine director and divine producer because you loved yourself out of your own ignorance, selfishness, and greed. It is time to resurrect the spirit inside of you and to become more than you could ever believe. We all have been looking outside of ourselves for change when it has always been ourselves who created it. Own the role that you have played and know that now it is a time to speak with compassion, strength, and truth because you have become it. Let's support each other to evolve and become the greatest, most powerful, and almighty power there is, which is love, your spirit. And this is the art of consciousness.